Hello and welcome to the Football Roundup podcast, the first episode of the Football Roundup podcast. You're joined by me, Jack.
And me, Taylor.
And first of all, we'd just like to say we really appreciate all the support so far with the podcast, and especially getting the first episode out. We really appreciate all the following and all the build-up as well. We really do appreciate that. Just want to say thank you. We've got an action-packed episode today, don't we, Taylor? We've got a lot of I'd say quite controversial discussion points that we're going to talk about today. But are you going to kick us off with something different before we go and potentially say something we're not really meant to?
Yeah, well, as you can see, if you're watching the YouTube video, I'm a City fan, a Manchester City fan, and Jack, well, you've got to feel sorry for him, really. Jack's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah,
and for you to get to know us a bit better, we're going to kick us off with a two truths, one lie about us and our clubs. So, Jack, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course, mate. I'll definitely kick us off. So, I mean, they're all to do with Arsenal and all to do with me surrounded by Arsenal. You know, my beloved club. You know, all the hard times we've been through, I will stick by them. So, you know, I mean, you've only just started, didn't you? Your club's only just. When did your club begin? Your club began in like when did it?
What,
when
1894 was it? Yeah.
No, I think it was like 2000 when 2014. Was that when you were created?
Yeah,
We actually got some history.
Yeah. So the other 13 years when I was supporting them just didn't happen.
No. So just going to kick off now. Two truths, one lie. So my first one is I have met the one and only Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV. I know. I've met him. He's a great guy. The second one is I've managed to find, I don't know how I managed to do this, but I do, but I managed to find my way into the Arsenal training rooms and medical rooms after a match day. And the third one is when I was younger, I was on the AFTV Young Gunners channel.
Oh, now the first one, you've met Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV.
Yeah.
I can believe that because I've met him too, and I think it was at the same
Have
place you met him.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to count that one as a truth straight away.
Okay.
And then the Arsenal training ground. Was it the training ground or the changing rooms?
Changing rooms.
I've been in the City changing rooms, but that was just a tour.
See, mine was after a match day.
Yours after a match day?
Yeah.
And you also think you've been on the Arsenal Fan TV Young Gunners channel.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you can get in after a match day. I'm going to have to say that one's a lie.
That was a lie.
Yeah, the middle one.
So you're saying I've met Robbie. That's true.
Yeah.
And you're saying that I was on the AFT Young Gunners channel.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, mate, you're wrong. I did manage to find my way into the Arsenal changing rooms after a match day.
Well, so which one's a lie?
The AFTV one, the being on the channel.
Wait,
I've never been on it. Never. Yeah, never been on it. But I'll tell you a story of how I did get into the Arsenal changing rooms. Obviously, we went to an Arsenal game. It was Arsenal Southampton where we beat them like 6-1. When Podolski scored a cracking free kick. It's a brilliant game, but it wasn't a great end to the game. After the game, me and my mate, we went outside and they have like these blocks of concrete outside the Emirates, and we were quite young. And my mate was jumping across these blocks of concrete, and one was a bit too far, and he caught his knee, like like where you bang your knee, like just that spot where it just absolutely kills you, right? He caught the corner of the concrete, and it's like dug a big chunk out of his leg. So luckily, but just by being his mate, because obviously there's nothing around, we were outside the Emirates. They just took us down to the medical rooms and got to go near the changing rooms and into the medical rooms. Saw Carl Jenkinson of all players. So
yeah, lucky for you.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Yeah, I weren't injured. I got to go inside the Emirates. But no, yeah. So what are yours, Taylor? Go on, far away.
Right, so my first one is I have been the Manchester City mascot.
Ooh.
My second one, I was behind the goal that Aguero scored in for the 3-2 QPR moment in 2012.
Okay.
And then my third one was every time I've been to Wembley, City have won.
Oh, that's tough. That is difficult. That. So how old would you have been when you were a mascot?
It was in 2008. So I would have been 6, almost 7.
Okay. And what was the last one? You were?
Every time I've been to Wembley to watch Man City, they've won.
City have won. And that sounds stupid. I can't think of a time where City have been to. I'm going to say City. Every single time you've been to Wembley, City have won. I was going to say that's a lie.
Yeah, that is a lie.
Yes, get in. What game did you go to?
I've been to watch Wembley at City. No, I've been to watch City at Wembley twice, and we've lost both times.
Have you? Both times you went?
I don't go now, just
Oh,
because of bad luck.
mate,
I was
honestly,
there when we lost 3-2 to United in the Community Shield, and then when we lost 1-0 to Wigan in the FA Cup final.
yeah. I mean, I annoyingly, I've never been to Wembley to watch Arsenal, but the both times I've been to Wembley, I went to watch my local side, Southend United, the Johnson's Pay Trophy, lost 1-0, and then went to watch Leyton Orient in the what's it, the non-league final day at Wembley, where there's like 2 games on, 2 cup finals, and lost that as well. So I'm saying here, mate, both times I've been to Wembley, must be a curse of both of us. But
great.
Yeah,
now we live it. So
yeah, exactly. So we're going to crack on with our first discussion point, which may annoy a few people, a certain fan base, I think.
I'll say it just because I think I should.
Go on then, mate.
We don't think United have got a chance at winning the Premier League this year.
No, I
can't see it.
Myself personally, obviously as an Arsenal fan, I'd absolutely hate it if Man United do. But I generally think United do not have a chance. Compared to the teams up there, obviously the title race at the moment is compact, isn't it? Obviously,
anyone can win it.
Exactly, at the moment anyone can win it. But the teams around United, City, for example, City have got a game in hand on United for 1, and if they win that, they jump United to top. But I generally don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has the. Obviously, we're halfway through the season now. We're getting to the end of it almost. Well, not the end of it, halfway through. But this point in the season is important, and I think they drew 0-0 to Liverpool, and they did not perform at all. They lost. Who did they lose to? They've conceded 25 goals this season compared to City's 13. So they're leaking goals.
Just because they've scored 5 more goals than us, but they've conceded about 12 more. So
exactly. Well, I've got here.
Scoring more goals doesn't mean
they've conceded 25 goals to Manchester City's 13. They were beaten by Spurs 6-1. By Spurs 6-1. I think Spurs have more of a shot when Spurs obviously were up there. They're no longer there, but it does show how quickly it can turn around. I thought Spurs had a shot at the title, as much as it pains me to say it. But United there now, I don't think they have the squad to compete. I really don't think they do. They almost, they should have at least drawn to Fulham last time out if it wasn't for Loftus-Cheek for, missing the target. 2 great opportunities.
Yeah, and if Areola hadn't given the ball to Cavani to put in the back of the net. Exactly.
I think this season United have been given chances, have been given the games, been handed the games. I think there's been I know a lot of people say it, but I think there's a lot of luck within Man United's performances at the moment. The team they've got. Who would you say they rely on the most? Who would you say have they got like a full? In your opinion, do they have a full 11 of top quality championship winners? Have they got championship winning players in their side?
Definitely not.
No.
I think it's mainly the defence that's letting them down, to be honest. They've got the defence they've got. I think the left backs are decent. They've got Telles and they've got Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
But then in centre back, they've only got really Maguire and Lindelof, who have been on good form, but they're very inconsistent. And if one of them gets injured, they've got Bailly, who can't stay fit for 5 games. And after that, who are you relying on? You've got
exactly. Bruno Fernandes,
Jones and Marcus Rojo, and they're just not Premier League winning centre backs.
Exactly.
And then a right back, Wan-Bissaka, who's his second?
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't think of one.
No, you can't. United, obviously Bruno Fernandes, he is top quality. He's brilliant.
Yeah, you can't
centre back in midfield. You can't put that past him. He is world class. But you can't keep relying on a player to pull you out of bad situations. It's like, do you know that Arsenal team with Robin van Persie? Scores 30 goals a season, but we continue to finish 4th, 3rd because we couldn't build a team around him. Pogba's sort of coming out of his shell now, I feel. Scored a terrific goal against Fulham.
It's only taken him 4 years.
I know. He's finally taken on Souness's criticism and finally started to form. But yeah, Rashford. They've got 3. In my opinion, they've got 3 brilliant players. They've got Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, and where Pogba's starting to finally, get into the swing of things, get into the run of things. They're the three main players they can rely on, but I don't think it'll be enough to push them over the line.
I also think they're too attacking. They've got three good players, but they're all in attacking positions.
Yeah.
If they had a good goalkeeper, which they do have, but then they almost need a rock in defence, a midfield, and a striker. They're missing the defence.
Yeah, exactly. It's. I mean, I can't believe Harry Maguire. You've got how much did it cost? 70? Was it 80 million? Wasn't it 80 million?
80 million.
80 million for Harry Maguire. A donkey at the back.
The fridge. What?
A fridge. I mean, he turns like a battleship. He does. He turns like a battleship.
Yeah.
He does. I'm saying this now. With United, Harry Maguire at the back, they will not win the league. They need the defence they used to have. They need, they need the team they used to have. If you look at the team Man United used to have, they were quality all over the pitch, weren't they?
Well, I think that's got to do with United recruitment, which will also stop them winning the league. They've brought in Donny van der Beek. For what? Is he there on work experience?
I know.
He's just sat there getting the teas and coffees. What?
I do feel bad for Van der Beek. I really do. He's a quality player.
He's a class player.
He's a quality player. He's fantastic. But what's the point in signing Van der Beek? Again, as you said, I think teams in the Premier League, a lot of the big teams. I mean, we've seen it with Arsenal. Even with City at some points, the recruitment, some of the players that teams have signed. United need to focus on. I think even when they signed Maguire, it was a ridiculous price tag. 80 million for Harry Maguire from Leicester City. I think.
Yeah.
Recruitment wise,
United, they just
and to push themselves over the line and get them closer to. They are close, but I don't think they're close enough. But then again, the season might change, but they need to focus on getting that defence right rather than just focusing on, getting that attack in midfield.
Well, personally, in my opinion, might be a bit biased, but the biggest problem stopping United from winning the league, they can't even fix it themselves because it's just Man City being too good. And if we keep winning and we keep playing on the form we're on, they can't stop us. There's literally nothing they can do. Even if they bring in centre backs to start playing well, it just won't make a difference.
Honestly,
I don't think.
As you said, that's another point. The Man United first point is Man United simply do not have the team to compete, and the other point is the teams around them. You've got Man City who are just. I mean, obviously you've played like that before, but recently you've been absolutely tearing teams apart. When it looks like you can't win,
United don't have.
Yeah,
we've got a big defence partnership now that's hopefully going to take us to win the Champions League.
I mean, you've got Ruben Diaz, who is just absolutely astonishing. He's a fantastic player, and you've got, it's just Man
John
City.
Stones, who's coming into form.
Oh yeah, John Stones has been fantastic as well.
When John Stones and Ruben Diaz have played together, they've played 11 games together. We've won 10, drawn 1, and we've only conceded 1 goal.
Really? Well, that's what I mean. That's the difference. And when you compare that City side to the United side, I think although United are in the top 4 and are potentially in the top 3, top 2, they're not going to win the title when you've got a team like City having a game in hand behind you and they're just, chopping at your heels. It's how many points are you behind? If you win, you go 2 points in front, 1 point in front, I think it is.
No, 1 point.
1 point in front. So, and if you continue that form you're in, if you continue that winning form that you're in, you'll just keep going. And I'm sure Man United will slip up at one point.
They have to.
I mean, they've got us, they've got Arsenal in a couple of weeks' time. So that's their first sort of. I mean, they've had a nice run of games, United. So I mean, having Arsenal in a couple of weeks' time, I think we could beat them. In the next couple of weeks when we're on the podcast again, I maybe being stupid as we've just been beaten 3-0 to United, but I generally think that we have a chance of beating United, and I think anyone can have a chance of beating United because of the defence.
Yeah, honest. And what they also don't have that City do have is that squad depth.
Yeah,
we've got players upon players. Like our second team could even finish top half in the table, to be honest.
Yeah.
And bringing in Ruben Diaz, that's transformed the club. I think he's done the exact same what Van Dijk has done at Liverpool.
Yeah.
just because he's not as well known and the price tag wasn't as high.
No
one's speaking about it as much.
No, he has been brilliant, Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, I think he's heavily underrated, and he's
yeah.
only 23.
Exactly. I mean, it's a great point. I mean, obviously Van Dijk's out at the moment, isn't he? He's out at the moment, obviously, because of his ACL. But since he's been out, we've seen Ruben Diaz as probably one of the best Premier League defenders apart from Van Dijk. And when Van Dijk isn't there, Ruben Diaz really has. He's shone. He's proven, how he compares to the likes of Van Dijk, and I think he's very, very close. I think he really can compete for that, that top defender status. But I mean, that brings us on to our next point. We're going to discuss our under or overrated players. I mean, Ruben Diaz is a great example, isn't it? He's,
in my opinion, he's heavily underrated.
I think he's underrated. I think he's underrated massively. I think he's fantastic. He doesn't get enough. Go on, sorry.
I feel like people are starting to see just how good he is. I feel like over the next few weeks, if he carries on playing how he is, people will start realizing this guy's a real deal.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think he's starting to prove his worth and his ability. And since Van Dijk has been out, no defender has performed better than Ruben Diaz has, or hasn't been. He's in the spotlight at the moment. Ruben Diaz, he's performed admirably in recent games. So I think he's heavily underrated. But I mean, that underrated status, I think, moving on to our next discussion point on underrated or overrated players. What do you think about Mikel Antonio? Because I think he has a shot at the England squad in the Euros. Mikel Antonio.
I think I agree with you there.
I
don't know if he'll be a starter for the England squad.
Impact.
But I feel like he could definitely have a call up, sit on the bench. If we need a goal in the last 10, 20 minutes, bring him on. He's a physical striker. He'll rattle the defences, and he's quick. So on his day, he could easily get us a goal.
He's strong. He's powerful. As you said, he's quick. He's like a raging bull. He just chases everything. He's a quality player. But as you said, I don't think he'll start. But I think he's an impact player. If he goes to the Euros, and he comes off the bench, I reckon he could make a huge impact to that England squad. I mean, he scored 5 in 11 games in the Premier League so far. It's not a bad stat at all.
But it's for West Ham as well. If you put him in a better squad, he performs better.
Exactly. It's like the Grealish scenario, isn't it? If bringing Grealish out of Aston Villa, he may be a better player. So
if you
ask
me, I think if Grealish came to City in the summer or whenever, I think Grealish would be better than Bruno Fernandes. I'm just going to say it. I just think he is.
Christ.
I think Grealish is as good
as
the likes of De Bruyne and Fernandes. But people look at the stats as well, but his stats won't be as good as how he actually is.
Yeah.
Because who he plays for. I think if he came into a better side with better players around him, his stats could almost double.
That is a shout. That is a big call. See,
right. Speaking of English youngsters, I've got one for you.
Go on then.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek. What do you think? Personally, I think he's underrated. But
you think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is underrated?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I think he's. I mean, he had 2 great chances against United the other night. I mean, you can't base player off of a performance. He had 2 great chances and fluffed his lines. I'm really not sure about that. What's the reasons for you thinking that he's underrated?
Well, at one point he was starting for Chelsea. He's been in the England squad. I just like him. I think he's got the build similar to Pogba. I think.
Right. Yeah.
And he's also quite consistent. Obviously, he didn't score those chances against United.
But
the last few games, De Bruyne's missed chances he could have easily put in. And that's not a midfielder's job at the end of the day. It's to run the midfield. And I just think him and Lookman even are just helping. They're the ones that are keeping Fulham up at this point.
Pushing Fulham forward. Yeah. I mean, seeing that now. Yeah, I mean, but then you could say he's just a player from the past now. He's at Fulham now. on loan from Chelsea, but that may be because Chelsea may bring him back
I
having
think
back.
should. I think Chelsea should bring him back.
I mean, bring him back in either January or obviously he'll go back in the summer. But he's on loan, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's on loan. I mean, if they bring him back in the summer or even this January, obviously coming to the end of the window, but with the midfield that Chelsea do have, Ruben Loftus-Cheek could make a significant impact. I mean, Chelsea they shipped off Barkley as well, who I think is underrated.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about that now, I can agree. He's an underrated player. He should be given a shot in that Chelsea midfield.
I think he should definitely be given a go. Maybe instead of Kovacic.
Yeah, I mean,
just no harm in trying him, I guess.
Not at all. But no, I can see. Yeah, how old is he? He's still young, so he still has the ability to, reach the ability that he needs to become a top player.
Reach the ability he can do at Fulham. I think he needs to go back to Chelsea, learn under all the good players there, and then turn into the best player he can.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's actually a player I had to think about. But yeah, moving on anyway to my next player. I've got now, in my opinion, a lot of Arsenal fans think he should have stayed at the Emirates, but I think it was over before we could even discuss it. Emi Martinez going to Aston Villa. I don't even think it was Arsenal's. I don't even think Arsenal did the wrong thing to move him on. I think he's getting more time at Villa. He's performing admirably. I mean, he's got 8 clean sheets this season.
Compared to most in the Premier League.
Compared to Edison's 11. So I think, in my opinion, he's massively underrated. It is a shame that we let him go, Arsenal. But I don't think he would have got the game time compared, the game time that he wanted. I think the main reason he did leave was because he wanted to be a first team player, But at Arsenal, with Leno in goal, I don't think there was much of a choice. I think it was the decision was made quite early on to let him go after the cup final, because next season he just wouldn't be, he performed he showed how much of a good player he was in the semi-final and the cup final. So it is a shame that we let him go, but in my opinion, he's massively underrated. He's a fantastic goalkeeper.
Yeah, we've pretty much said everything there, but
yeah.
I think I have to agree with you. I think he's really underrated.
Yeah. I mean, he's crucial to Aston Villa's defence, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a reason for why they're doing so well.
He's got decent centre-backs in front of him, but he's made lots of saves that have kept Aston Villa in games.
Yeah.
I think it was right for him to leave Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think he deserves at least
a first team
play
place.
Every Premier League game.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. So I think it's the right decision he made, but it is a shame that we let him go because he's a fantastic goalkeeper. But he's performing well now. So I'm happy that he is finally getting some first team football elsewhere.
Yeah. I've got one for you. There's a City player now.
Oh.
There's a lot of split opinions. Oh my God. There's a lot of split opinions on him. What do you think about Riyad Mahrez?
Oh, that's tough. I think he's great. I think he's a great player, Riyad Mahrez.
I think he's a lot better than people make him out to be.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, he's sort of overshadowed, isn't he, by Sterling in a way.
Well, Riyad Mahrez. We'll find out in a bit.
Yeah. So, but
I think, I really like Mahrez.
Yeah,
I think he's clinical. He's direct. He goes towards goal.
Yeah, I mean,
like him.
Cut inside on that left foot. I mean, he showed it at Leicester what he can do, and he's proved it at City as well. He has proved it.
Yeah, the way I see it, he's definitely worth the 60 million we bought him for.
Oh yeah.
And everyone knows he's going to cut in on his left, but he still gets done what he needs to do, even when he's cutting in on his left.
I know he's not at the level as Iron Robin, but he's sort of that similar player, isn't he? Driving,
on his left,
pushing towards goal.
You can't stop him.
Yeah, like pushing towards goal, like driving, like either left or right, and then just cutting in on that left, and just he scores some terrific goals. He's a great player, and I think I have to agree with you. I think he is underrated. I think he's a fantastic player.
Yeah, all the Africans on Facebook will agree with you.
Yeah. So my next player, now in my opinion, this one, obviously, we've said a lot of players that are underrated, but my next one is massively overrated, I think.
Oh.
On my list here, I have Adama Traore of Wolverhampton Wanderers. What are your opinions on him then?
I can kind of see both sides, to be honest, but I feel like if I had to pick one, he would be overrated. He's not. I think I'm right in saying this. He's not got a single goal or assist this season in the Premier League.
He's got in all competitions, he's only got 2 goal contributions in 20 games.
For a forward player, that's not what you want to be hearing.
I mean, he starts pretty much every Premier League game. Obviously when he's injured or he is kept on the bench. It's 20 games in all competitions, and only 2 goal contributions, and he's bigged up massively by Wolves fans.
Yeah, literally as well.
He's one of the one of the best wingers in the league, but with 2 goal contributions in all comps, in my opinion, he's massively overrated. He's a good addition to the Wolves side. He's strong, he's powerful, but I just feel like
if he went back to playing right wing back, instead of right wing, I feel it'd be good again.
Yeah,
I just don't think he's good enough. He's not good enough at shooting to be that high up the pitch.
No, he's not an attacker. His presence in defence, his strength, his power. I'm sure he'd be great where he used to play, but as an attacker,
like he'd probably get more goals if he came on as a super sub.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Bringing him on when the defence is getting tired and him just powering through them.
I mean,
get more goals.
I mean, on FIFA, on Ultimate Team, I bring him on and he does the job. So maybe Wolves need to take note on that. But in my opinion, he's overrated, I think.
Right. I've got an overrated player.
Oh, okay.
From what I've heard, you think he's underrated. What do you think about Raheem Sterling?
Sterling, I think it's tough because he's a bit on and off, isn't he, Sterling?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Yeah,
I think he's overrated. If you want to be that good and to the level he's praised at, you can't be on and off. You've got to be on all the time.
On all the time. It's tough. It really is. He's a great player. He's a great Englishman. He's a brilliant player. But I mean, I think I have to agree. Overrated. Yeah, Raheem Sterling overrated.
His problem is when he has time on the ball. I know all my family agree with me on this because we say it every time we see him play. But when we're attacking, quick, fast pace, he's not got a lot of time to think. He's got to go off instincts. That's when he's playing his best. When, as City do a lot, when we're passing the ball around, taking our time, and he's got time to think because the defence is sat back, that's when he loses the ball. Every single time. He gets scared to take people on.
Yeah.
And then he just loses the ball way too much. And he misses so many chances. The penalty.
Oh my God, yeah.
So many penalties he's missed. I don't know why he stepped up to take it, but it just hit the target. Like,
no, I have to agree.
For his free kick he scored the next game, imagine the goal 12 yards in front of him, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I have to agree. Raheem Sterling, overrated. So that's that section done. The overrated or underrated section. I think we covered a lot of ground there. Maybe, annoyed a few people, but, it doesn't matter. That's what we do. I mean, yeah. Now, our next point, I think a lot of people will agree. We'll have it's going around at the moment. It's quite a hot topic at the moment. Is Lampard's time at Chelsea over? Is it up? Is his time up at Chelsea?
Yeah, it's got to be. He's an overrated manager.
There you go, overrated manager. There you go.
It's just the fact he's like now he's 9 points behind Leicester. That's just not good enough for a Chelsea team with the players they've got.
Yeah.
The fact he brought in 6 or 7 new signings in the summer was just ridiculous. Yeah, I think it's a lack of experience really that's letting him down. I feel like in a few years' time, if he was to go somewhere else for a few years, come back to Chelsea, I think he'd do all right. I think he just needs some experience.
I think I agree there. I think it was a bit too early for Lampard to come back to Chelsea. He done brilliantly at Derby.
But he was only there for a year?
Yeah, I mean, he was brilliant there, but I think it was just a bit too early for him to come back to London. But he's on my notes here. He's lost 6. He's lost 6 already this season, and with the players he's got, yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, but he's lost 6 this season. I mean, Arteta, I think he's lost. I think it's 7. I think Arteta.
I think it's 8 now.
It's 8. Yeah, he's lost. So I mean, Arteta and Lampard are in a similar area. The only difference is between Lampard and Arteta's side is that this stat is mental.
Oh no.
Werner has only 4 goals in the Premier League this season. Havertz has 1 goal and 3 assists, right? And that's for a combination of £123.3 million.
Wow.
I know. Again. So, I mean, Werner with 4 goals this season.
Yeah.
For the amount of money he cost, and Havertz as well. Havertz was a ridiculous amount of money. I think it's like £70 million for Havertz. And he's got 1 goal and 3 assists this season. I think that's the main.
Frank Lampard, or is that the players? Or is that the
That's
players?
the point. That's the thing. I think with Chelsea this season, I don't think it is down to Frank. I don't think it is down to Frank Lampard. I think it's down to the group of players that he has. I think the recruitment again is splashing the cash, and he brought in a whole new Chelsea team, team. He had a new player.
I think that's a problem though.
Yeah, he had a new player in pretty much every single position. He had a new team. I said at the start of the season. He's brought in all these players who need to gel straight away to then kick off. And with the players that he's got, the team that he's got should be competing for a top 4 space, even the title. Werner, Havertz, brilliant players. And then they come to London, they come to England, and because the team around him isn't gelling, it's just falling apart. They're not contributing to goals or they've only scored 4 goals.
Yeah,
player is of his stature.
Pathetic, to be honest. But I also feel like Lampard could have managed the team a lot better. He puts out a completely different 11 every week.
Yeah,
and I feel like if he was more experienced, he'd put the same team out for a few games on a run, just so they all get to know each other. They all get to know how each other play.
Yeah.
But how are you going to get to know how each other play if you're playing with different players every single week? Like against Leicester, the midfield was Mount, Kovacic, and Ziyech.
Yeah.
3 attacking players. There's no wonder they lost 2-0. Like I think he doesn't know how to manage the players he's got, and I feel like that again comes with experience that he just doesn't have.
No, I mean he brought in. It's true, you go from Derby to from this Championship side, going to Chelsea where you have all these facilities, all this money to spend. It must be such a shock. It must be such a change as a manager to go from one extreme to the other. So. But I think it will be so wrong if they do sack Lampard.
Well, I feel like a lot of it has to do with the board, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, they're the ones at the end of the day that brought in the players. They're the ones that put them on him. Again, Lampard coming from Derby to Chelsea obviously had the transfer ban to start with.
Yeah.
So he didn't have the money to bring in all the players, and that's when he was playing well.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they've given him too much energy, too much boost, too much of a inflow of players.
I think too much pressure as well.
Yeah, Like think about the beginning of the season, it was look who Chelsea have signed now. Look who they've signed now. They're going to win the league. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And as a manager that's only had 1 year experience, 2 years experience before that, it's just too much.
Yeah, but as you said, it's the board, and I'm afraid it's the Chelsea way, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm not sure if he really should be sacked. I think he should be given a little bit more time. But Chelsea buy impact managers to win trophies, and if he's not doing that, I don't think he'll be around much longer.
No, it's a shame. Chelsea legend. You brought him into, at the wrong time as well for Chelsea. I think bringing Lampard in, wrong manager, wrong place. It's just the wrong time. I think to bring Lampard in, it was the wrong time.
Yeah.
Let Lampard develop as a manager. Bring someone else. Keep someone in to stabilise Chelsea as a football club.
Maybe have him as the new manager's assistant, just so he's still there.
It's like Arteta. He didn't go straight into management. He learned it all from, Pep at City. So, and now he's at Arsenal, and obviously we're not doing brilliantly. I mean, our current form is better. We revived our season, but I mean, we haven't splashed the cash like Chelsea have. So there's not much pressure on us. Obviously, we bought Partey, but we haven't got we just haven't got that pressure. I mean, of having to try and get performances out of 123 million pounds of players. So
I also feel like what's keeping Lampard in the job is his connection to Chelsea.
Yeah,
I think all the fans are wanting him in the club, which Arteta doesn't have at Arsenal. So he's got to perform more to stay in the club.
Yeah,
obviously the Arsenal fans like Arteta, but it's nothing like how Chelsea fans see Lampard.
No, exactly, and that's why I think
one of the big things keeping him in the club as well. If he was, if Arteta was managing Chelsea, I feel like he would have gone weeks ago.
Yeah, a bit longer. Yeah, a bit earlier on, but he it is just saying it's a shame if he does go. And I think what you said there, you hit the nail on the head. The only reason why he's in the job is because of his status at Chelsea, which will make it even worse if he does get sacked because of his status at Chelsea. So, Chelsea's a football club, have got a big issue on their hands here. And it needs to change quickly, I think.
I think they need to bite the bullet and just get rid of him, to be honest.
I think give him time. I don't think it's right to let him go. It's not right to let him go just yet. He hasn't had enough time at Chelsea to prove what sort of a manager he is. He's going through a rough time at the moment. But if Chelsea hang on and keep faith in a Chelsea legend, then I think they'll come out all right. I feel
like he could be a good manager, just not yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. So obviously we've discussed Manchester United and Chelsea. Now it's time to discuss our Leicester. Our Leicester replaced Arsenal in the Big Six. Do you think they have? Do you think Leicester have climbed above Arsenal? Have kicked Arsenal out of the top six of the top Big Six clubs?
I'm not certain they have yet, but I feel like by the end of this season, I feel like the modern day Big Six, Leicester will have replaced Arsenal.
Right.
I feel like you can't really replace Arsenal in the Big Six just because of almost the financial power they've got, which is why they end up on TV a lot, which is why a lot of fans support them. But if you're looking on football performances, I think Leicester are doing better. I think Leicester have consistently performed for a few years.
See, I don't know. I think it's tough. I think I have to stick with my loyalties to Arsenal.
Yeah, thought so.
I think we're still. I know it may be deluded, but we're still a big side, and I still see us in the top Big Six. I think we're one of the, as Arsenal as a football club, we're one of the biggest in the world. If you're basing it off performances, then yeah, at the moment we're nowhere near. But I think as a club, even when we're in our rough patches, we still win trophies. Won the FA Cup last year. Beat a Chelsea side who were performing at the time. 2-1 at Wembley. We beat City in the semi-final. Your boys.
Still remember that? Then you lose to us in the league. So
yeah, all right. Still won a trophy though, didn't we? So I mean, as a club, I think Arsenal are still in the Big Six. I think we still have a lot to compete for. I think I've said it to people before. I said the only reason why we're in the position we are in now is because of this rough start we had. If we played, at the beginning of the season like we are now, I think we'd be up there. I think we'd be competing.
Yeah, but to be fair, we had a rough start.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
We lost to Leicester 5-2. We drew to West Brom. We drew to Leeds.
Yeah. Look at Liverpool.
We're pretty much first if we win our next game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Anything can happen at any time. It's Liverpool. Look at Liverpool now. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Liverpool lost to Burnley last night 1-0.
Anything can happen this season.
Anything can happen this season. I think this season's really weird. Obviously, if everything's going on around the world at the moment, and obviously, in the United Kingdom, obviously, it's just everything's sort of coming together, and it's just making a really, really odd season. No team is really performing the way they should be.
We're not going to reach the points totals that have been reached the past 3 seasons.
No, oh, no.
100, 99, 98.
The amount of games lost this season.
But I like it.
Yeah, so do I. I like it, to be fair.
I like how close it is.
The fact that Arsenal are sitting in 10th place, but still, with half the season left to go, still have a shot at potentially getting top 6.
Yeah, you're only 7 points behind 4th place, which sounds like a lot, but Liverpool are in 4th, and the way they're going.
Yeah, I know. With the performances that the results that are coming out of games at the moment, any team below the top 6 still have a chance, a huge chance. But
I wouldn't say huge chance, but
the way things are going, Liverpool losing to Burnley.
You've got a huge chance to get in the top 4. I doubt you'll make it to the top 4, to be honest.
No, I don't think we will.
Even Europa League, but you could climb a few places. If Everton and West Ham, I can't see them keeping their form up the whole season. So if they drop, then it's only Chelsea, Southampton, and Arsenal behind them. So you could climb up a few places, but I don't think you're reaching Europa League and Champions League this season.
I think it'd be tough.
Leicester are.
Huh?
Whereas Leicester are.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I just think Leicester have got a really good team. They're really well managed. They've got a good recruitment.
Yeah.
I like Leicester as a club. They've got lots of young players. Arsenal have a few good players. Like they're relying on the likes of Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe currently, who are two cracking players. But Leicester, they've got a lot of young players as well that people don't realise. Like Ndidi, heavily underrated. He's only 24. Sionchu had a good season last season. I haven't seen much from this season. He's 24.
Yeah.
That Fofana, who's performing out of his skin, he's 20. Harvey Barnes, 23. Tielemans, 23. Maddison, 24.
Yeah.
They're all these players that all know how each other play. They all know what they're doing. And if they stay a team, maybe bring in a couple players, by the time they're all 28, 29, they could be up there winning Premier Leagues, knowing how I think Leicester can go far.
I think to debate that with Leicester over Arsenal, the Big Six, I think it's too early. This Arsenal team's growing. It's evolving. Yeah. You've got players coming out the ranks, Hale-end graduates. You said Smith-Rowe, Saka, and obviously Martinelli, brilliant player. We've got young talent as well.
I like Martinelli.
I think he's brilliant. It's such a shame that he's just a bit injury prone. It's just a bit. It's so frustrating for Arsenal fans. He's a fantastic player, but we've still got this evolving young squad, this growing squad under Arteta. It's a new Arsenal team. We're almost recreating our image in a way of what Arsenal used to be. I think next season is the season where we'll be able to decide that whether Leicester have kicked Arsenal out. Yeah. It will be a shame. It'll be a huge shame if we can't compete anymore. But with the way things are going and the way we're building as a side, I don't think we're out of it just yet. I think Leicester have
on the form you're on now with 4 wins out of 5, is it?
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
I feel like you'll stay in the top 6, but if you have another season like you're having now with only the same amount of wins as losses, you've got 8 wins and 8 losses.
Yeah.
And just because sometimes you're playing good football doesn't mean you're getting the results. Like over this season, Leicester have only had 3 less shots than you, but they've also had 600 less passes. So just because you're playing good football, passing it around, doesn't necessarily mean you're getting the goals. I mean, Vardy's got 11 goals. Lacazette's only got 7.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think it's too early to call. But as you said, as you said, it's too early. But next season, I think, is the season where we'll see where Arsenal and Leicester compare to one another.
If Leicester finish a good 3 or 4 places above Arsenal next season, I feel like the modern day top 6 will be United, City, Leicester, Tottenham.
Don't say that word. Don't say Spurs. Don't say it. Don't say it. Honestly, I was so scared. I was so scared that they would have had a shot at the title this season. I mean, they're in a cup final this year.
I mean, they're not beating us in the cup final.
No, please do us all a favour. Please do us all a favour.
It's our cup. We've won it, the past 3 years?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
don't fluff it up now.
Us.
Yeah.
I hope.
But yeah, I think as you said, next season I think we'll see when we're sort of all out of the situation we're all in at the moment. I think we'll finally see, and when fans are back as well. Don't forget fans, massive impact. So
I can't wait to be back in the stadium.
Oh, don't!
I miss it so much.
Don't! I I can't explain how much I missed it. Like, I was lucky enough to go watch a few non-league games this year when we were allowed to.
Yeah.
And even that was brilliant, just to be, watching some live football. It's such a shame, but fingers crossed, touch wood, next year we'll be back.
I miss it so much.
Yeah, it's so sad. Anyway, so those were the 3 discussion points. I think, that's good, nice conversation about how bad Arsenal are and how good Leicester are. But next we'll go on to our predictions for the upcoming games.
Yeah, so the way we're going to do this is every week, me and Jack are going to predict the week's fixtures that are coming up, and we'll have a leaderboard between us two where it is. If we get the right score, we get 5 points. And if we get the right outcome, so say I said City will win 3-1, but they only win 2-0. So obviously City have both won, we'll get 2 points. And we'll build it up throughout the season, and we'll see who wins.
See who wins. This would be nice. This would be an interesting.
I've got you here.
An interesting competition. So, should we kick it off then? So, I've got my predictions on a piece of paper here.
Yeah, go on.
So, first game, Aston Villa Newcastle. So obviously Aston Villa play twice in the space of a week because
they've got several games to catch up.
Yeah, I've got to catch up. But Aston Villa, I've said Aston Villa 3, Newcastle 1. That's what
I've gone 3-0.
You gone 3-0?
Martinez. I think he's keeping another clean sheet.
Yeah, that's a big shout.
Definitely,
yeah.
That's a close one.
I think Newcastle have it in them. I think we sort of turned them over last week, so they have a chance to bounce back. And I think they'll net against Villa, but I think Villa will just take it over them. I think. But
I'm hoping for a Jack Grealish masterclass.
Yeah.
So City sign him.
City snatch him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But next game, big game this actually for West Ham. I've gone with Palace 1, West Ham 0.
Really?
Yeah, I've gone for Palace to beat West Ham.
Nah, I've gone the complete opposite way. I've gone for Crystal Palace to score 1, but West Ham to score 3. I think it's going to be 3-1 West Ham.
3-1 West Ham, really?
I don't know what it is.
Away?
I don't know. I just had a vision.
Had a vision, had a dream.
Yeah.
that is a big call, but I just think, you know what West Ham are like. You know what they're like.
But
they're doing
what
quite
Crystal
well.
Palace are like. Could go either way.
I know, that's the thing, but I've gone with Palace. I've gone with Palace. But next game, Newcastle play again. They play Leeds. I've gone with 1-0 to Newcastle.
1-0 to Newcastle?
Yeah.
I think based on the fact that Newcastle have played a few days before.
Yeah.
And the way Leeds play, I mean, I don't agree with the way Leeds play, but
no, neither.
They're quick in how they play, and I don't think Newcastle will have the legs to keep up with it. So I've gone 2-1 Leeds. 2-1
Leeds to goal for Newcastle, but Leeds to do it. So we're not agreeing much, are we? We're not agreeing on the result.
That's good.
It's good, yeah. Competition.
Better than having the same score for everyone.
Yeah.
Right,
next game. Big game for Arsenal. We've got Southampton. Bear in mind, we've got Southampton in the cup as well.
Yeah.
So Southampton 0, Arsenal 2. On 2-0 Arsenal. Right. Don't you dare.
I don't know how happy you'll be with mine.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I've gone for Southampton 2, Arsenal 1.
We can lose to Southampton. Yeah. It is going to be a tough game.
They're ahead of you in the league.
Yeah, I know.
And they've played a game less.
But I think the form we're in,
the form you win could take you over, to be fair. But
I hope we beat them.
I knew you'd have them to win, so I just wanted to see what you'd react to that.
Yeah. I mean, I can see both sides, but I'm an Arsenal fan. You know what we're like.
Yeah, you've got to back
Arsenal 2-0 win. Yeah.
But like how I'm going to back myself in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I've backed you all the way. I've gone West Brom
versus City. What have you got?
I've gone West Brom 0, Man City 5.
I've got the same.
Oh yeah. I can just see it high scoring. I can see just absolutely turning them over.
That's right. So that's a certain. It's definitely 5-0.
Yeah, certainly 5-0. It's going to happen. Remember
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That'll put us 7 + 5. That'll put us 12 goal difference ahead of United.
There you go then. See United. See, it's not happening. It's not happening. United. You're not winning it. So next game, So next game is Burnley 0, Aston Villa 2.
I have gone for a 0-0 draw.
0-0 draw.
The fact Aston Villa have played a few days before again, Burnley are going to be confident from the Liverpool game.
See, I
don't know why it is. It's just going to be a 0-0.
Just be a 0-0. Boring 0-0 game. I can see it, to be honest. I can see it. But next game, now this is quite a difficult one, this one. Chelsea versus Wolves. What have you gone with?
I don't know why I've done this, but I've gone for Wolves to beat Chelsea 3-1.
Wolves to beat Chelsea 3-1.
Yep.
Oh, I've gone with 1-1.
Now I'm looking at it. Actually, I'll back Wolves. I really like Pedro Neto. I think he's a class player.
He's brilliant.
Podence. I just think they're really good. I like Neves. I think he's cracking.
Yeah.
Got a Cody in defence. They've got a good team, Wolves. I don't know why
they do. They have a really good team. I don't know what's happened.
They should be doing better than what they're doing.
Yeah. They're brilliant. They're a brilliant side. I just don't know what's happened to them.
So maybe Adama Traore's form can't be based on how he's
Jimenez out. Yeah.
I think Jimenez was a big blow to them, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a crucial player to that side. It is such a shame. But yeah, I don't know what's happened, but we'll have to see. I think it'll be 1-1. I think it'll be a close game. But next game, bit of a boring one. Brighton versus Fulham. What have we gone with?
1-0.
1-0.
Get it out the way.
I've gone 2-1 Brighton. I think they'll do Fulham. Next one, quite a big game in the race for the top four. Everton versus Leicester. What have you gone with?
The fact it's a big game, I've gone for 3-2 Leicester. I want to see it high scoring. I want to see lots of goals. I want to see quick pace football.
See, I've gone with 2-1 to Everton.
2-1 to Everton.
Yeah, I think they'll turn them over. I think they'll just have it over. I think.
Who's scoring the winner then? If it's 1-0, 89th minute, who's scoring the winner for Everton?
Mina. Yerry Mina's going to come up.
Yerry Mina, header from a corner.
Yeah, from a corner.
Nice.
So you remember that? Remember it's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yep, I'm sure about that. Yerry Mina's going to score. Right. Now, Man United, Sheffield United.
I don't want to say this.
Neither do I, really.
I've gone for United to win 4-0.
4-0?
Yeah.
See, I've not gone with that.
Oh, really?
The
thing is, I can see Sheffield beating United. I personally think I could see Sheffield winning like 1-0, 2-1. But is that what you've gone with?
I've gone with 2-1 to Sheffield United. Yeah.
I was thinking it, but then I don't know.
I mean,
I had another one of my visions. I just saw Cavani scoring twice.
I mean, Bruno.
After that, it's going to be done.
Bruno Fernandes turns up against teams like Sheffield United. No disrespect to Sheffield United.
Against the big teams, does a United fan?
I know he don't.
6 games, 1 goal, no assists, and the one goal was a penalty. So,
I know. It's overrated. There you go. No, no, he's class, Bruno. But yeah, as you said, he hasn't performed against the bigger side, so he might come out against Sheffield and absolutely tear him to bits. But
and then he's the best player in the world again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like 2-1 Sheffield United. This one I've sort of betrayed my red side of North London. I've gone
for 4-0 to United, so you can't get much worse.
No, I've gone Spurs 1, Liverpool 0.
Ooh.
Bear in mind
that
Liverpool aren't scoring and they're conceding.
I should have thought of that, yeah. But I've gone for a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
Ooh.
See, I think
it just
Spurs
seems like a game that's got 2-2 written all over it. Just
sort
Spurs
of
against Liverpool.
Yeah.
It just does.
I don't know. That's tough. But yeah, Spurs 1. I think Spurs 1, Liverpool 0. I think Spurs have it over them. Spurs are playing. It's horrible to say it, but they're playing some nice football. They've got some quality. Heung-min Son and Harry Kane are just tearing the league apart.
Do you think they'll break the record of the most combined goals and assists to each other in a season?
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't. I could say they won't, but I'm going to say they will. I think they're just a brilliant pairing. Mourinho. When Mourinho came in, I would not think they'd be playing the way they are. But he's got these two players playing. Like Harry Kane eyes in the back of his head. He can play passes to Heung-min Son.
I think that's made him like proper
he's
one of the strikers
world
in the world.
class.
Like, obviously he was, but I feel like now he's stuck his name up there.
He's a complete striker now.
Yeah,
he can score. Like everyone knows he can score, but I mean, some of his passing's insane. But
it's just the partnership they've got. I remember seeing it the first time this season. We were sat in Box Park, which is like where they show TV games on a big screen.
Yeah,
and it was when they drew 3-0 to West Ham.
Yeah.
But obviously they were winning. And the way Son and Kane were linking up was amazing. I remember someone sat a few chairs down from me.
Yeah.
They had that bet on, the one that went viral, the Son to assist Kane and Kane to assist Son. It was at like 66-1, and he won like £300 from it. And I was like, you want to put that on every week, really, the way they're playing.
Yeah, you would.
It was amazing to watch. And then Lanzini scored the best goal of the season. And
that was honestly one of the best days of my life, watching that goal going.
Amazing.
Honestly,
one of the best days of your life.
Yeah, one of my life. Yeah.
Going back to the beginning of the episode, the best day of my life was probably the Aguero 3-2 QPR.
Yeah. So that was the truth, wasn't it? That was the truth.
Yeah, that was the truth. Yeah. I was sat behind the goal he scored in on the first tier as well, so I was right there watching.
Yeah.
I've got all the videos on my BlackBerry from 9 years ago.
God. So I mean,
should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, that means we're sort of done.
Yeah.
So from both of us, really, thank you for watching the first episode of the Football Roundup. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and obviously subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you for clicking on our podcast channel. Don't forget to just give us a follow, so you know when we release a new podcast. And hopefully, same time next week there'll be episode 2 out. So I just want to say thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you.